sir.
Okay. Hello, YouTube pipe community. YouTube pipe smokers. And people on YouTube that like to watch other people smoke pipes. Rain is in the air. Storms are in the air. We went and found a really old camera to shoot this video. I'm smoking a gurgling, for some reason, Dunhill. And in it I'm smoking White Me. It's a medium Balkan blend made by Hearth and Home. It's supposed to resemble an old favorite that, if anybody knows what that old favorite is, put in the comments so the rest of us will know. I'm drinking a fancy seltzer in a fancy glass. I'm the Night Piper. I got my rain hat on just in case. Have you ever had a dream where you're on a crowded street full of people, possibly in Philadelphia or New York, thousands of people everywhere, and you're naked?
Huh? Oops.
You just forgot to put on clothes? Have you ever had a dream where you're sitting at your office cubicle and you gotta go pick up something at the printer and you realize I'm only wearing my boxer shorts? We've all had them, hadn't we? No? I'm the only one? Well, let's segue. Back in, I was 16 years old, my mother, my father, my friend Paul and I hopped in the car and we drove to the square in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Because Uncle Dave Making Days was going on. What is Uncle Dave Making Days? Uncle Dave Making Days is a bluegrass contest that lasts all weekend. I don't really know the reason why I went, but we went. I think I was wanting to become a banjo player, and this would have been in the mid-'80s. So, we parked the car probably 6 or 7 football fields away. These are American football fields. And we walk toward the square, and I start hearing this sound as I get closer to the square. The sound is of, it's a lower frequency, and it's a dum, 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 dum. Sort of like you get close and you start hearing. And it grabbed me and hugged me and said, that is what you're going to do. That's the instrument you're going to play, little knight. You're going to play the upright bass. Well, I didn't have one, of course. We get on in the festival. I see the guy playing it. And I see the mandolins and the fiddles and the guitars and the banjos. And all I'm noticing is that thing right there, the bass. We meet up with a friend of Paul's named Bill Chimes. We meet up with a friend named Bill, and Bill is playing the guitar, and he's playing with a guy named Andy. I didn't know either of these guys. Andy was the banjo player. They were sitting out by one of those Civil War monuments that you're not supposed to have now, and they were playing and practicing. My friend Paul pulled out his Jew's harp and started twanging. I had harmonica for some apparent reason, and I started playing the harmonica and no key close to what these two guys were playing. I don't know why they let me hang around. Anyway, I told Bill and Andy that, you know what, I would love to learn how to play that bass. I wish I had a bass and maybe we could start a band. I never had played a bass before. I never had played bluegrass music. Never wanted to play bluegrass music. I played baritone in the band. Well, Bill's mother was there, and she said, "Young man, come over to Bill's house sometime. I have a bass, and you can learn how to play it." I'm like, that's cool. So I started going over to Bill's house. And she had an OK bass. That's the name of the bass, K-Y. And I learned how to play that bass by watching her. Bill's dad was a mandolin player, had a TV show in the town, was well known, knew all the big people in bluegrass. So me and Bill and Andy started playing and practicing, and I got to learn how to play the bass. I learned pretty fast. I was a natural at it for some reason. I guess because it's got lesser strings than anybody else's instrument. My dad always said, "Son, why couldn't you just play the harmonica? Why do you always have to play the biggest thing? Why do you always have to order the most expensive meal?" That was just a deal. So we get pretty good, and then Bill's dad is like, "Your boy's ready for a gig." I'm like, "Sure, I guess I am." So we played our first gig at the Cracker Barrel. The Cracker Barrel. Place was packed. They had their big time, professional band, and then they let us high schoolers come up and play. And lo and behold, my neighbor over across the street, Ronnie Stoneman, actually showed up. So we played good, and Bill's dad's like, "You boys ready to be on TV?" I'm like, "TV? I've only been playing for a couple of weeks." Anyway, 5 o'clock in the morning, we go down to the square of Murfreesboro, and we're playing on TV. Man, I thought I was a big deal. And we keep playing and playing and playing and playing. I keep looking in the newspaper for classifieds to see if I can find me a bass. I need my own bass. My mom and dad said, "Hey, if you find one, we'll get it for you." So you'll shut up. I was all excited. Never could find one. On and on and on and on. I don't know how many months it was. I always looked in the classifieds for an upright bass in the Tennessean. Lo and behold, one day it appeared. I think it was like, I don't remember how expensive it was, but I saw it, and I had one of those moments. And I said, "Mom and Dad, we found one." So they called, and the lady said, "Sure, come down and look at it." It was this bass here. Now, I kept getting better. The night that we got this bass and brought it back home, I couldn't sleep. because it was sitting in the corner. And I just kept looking at it. I could smell it. And I was just in love. This was the first love of my life, was this bass here, which we named Bertha. This was before Big Bertha, so I don't think we copied them. Anyway, we started playing bigger shows. We started playing contests. We started playing all over the place. We got to meet the who's who of bluegrass. Got to play with Bill Monroe, who says he's the father of bluegrass. Got to play with Ralph Stanley. Got to almost play with Jimmy Martin, but he was too drunk to play. We played on the Early Bird Bluegrass Special for Fanfare. We played at the Nashville Speedway at Fanfare. Place was full of Canadians. I did a bass solo. They went wild. Now, at that same time, there was a guy named Johnny Beller, who was a bass player from Ashland City, and he played the bass. And he did something that I've never seen on a bass. He can make the bass sound like a machine gun. So when I was just doing like this, he was doing this. I was like, Jesus, that was impressive. So he taught me how to do that. Had to get Weed Eater string to learn how to do it. So I got to play on the Grand Ole Opry. I got to play at Fanfare. Played in a bluegrass contest and got our ass kicked by this young fiddle player from Missouri. Her name ended up being Alison Krause. So, anyway, fast forward a year or so, we're playing at a bluegrass contest in Decatur, Alabama. We had played all day. We're tired. We went back to the hotel. I remember the hotel being I believe it was a Holiday Inn. It was either Holiday Inn or Howard Johnson's. And we went back to the room, practiced a little bit more. We had to play the next day. And we ordered Domino's. And Domino's down there sent us 4 Mountain Dews. They used to send 4 Cokes or Pepsis. I can't remember what they were, but we got 4 Mountain Dews. And for some reason, I drank 2 or 3 of the Mountain Dews and ate the pizza. And Brax a little bit more, dipped a little snuff. Wasn't drinking any alcohol, or there wasn't any drugs involved. And we went to bed. The guitar player had one bed, I had the other bed. The fiddle player and the banjo player slept on cots because they were smaller than us. And I woke up and I was out by the pool at the Holiday Inn. And all I had on was my underwear. It's probably 6:30, It was already light outside, and I woke up and I was out by the pool in my underwear. So I'm walking around a hotel in Decatur, Alabama in my underwear. And I find a box. And I put the box on, wrap the box around me. So now I'm walking around a hotel in Decatur, Alabama with a box. And I go to this room on the first floor thinking it's our room. And luckily it wasn't our room. It was somebody else. There was nobody in there. And then I go to the room directly above us. Hoping that's our room. Hold on a second. I go to the room directly above us, hoping that's our room, and the guitar player opens up. He's like, "Why are you wearing a box?" And then goes right back to bed. So the moral of the story is, when you ask if you've had those dreams, I've had those dreams and I lived it for real. Just one more quick base story. We played a horse farm near Middle Tennessee State University. When I was doing a bass solo, going crazy. Place was packed. I don't know why we were playing there, but we played there. It was on a Thursday night. I was raising hell on this thing. Sounded like Rambo. There's an old man, for some reason, was sitting right behind me playing the dobro. You couldn't see him, but he was playing the dobro behind me. He sort of liked to sit in with us. And I was going to town and the bridge popped. This thing popped on the bass. Sounded like a cannon. It went across the room. And the old man behind me playing the dobro peed in his pants. I hope you have a good day, good night, stay dry. My thoughts on White Me, I wish I liked it better because it's got my name on it, but it's no Star of the East or Balkan Sobrani.